James Cagney's life story is a remarkable tale of resilience, transformation, and personal contradictions. Known primarily for his portrayal of tough guy gangsters in the golden age of Hollywood, Cagney's real life was far more complex than the hard-edged characters he became famous for. His journey from the gritty streets of New York to becoming one of the most revered actors of his generation reveals a man of immense talent, intense ambition, and a passion for performance that extended far beyond his on-screen roles. However, his life was not without its share of personal challenges, including struggles with his family and the eventual revelation of deep, hidden aspects of his private life after his death. Born James Francis Cagney Jr. on July 17, 1899, on the Lower East Side of New York City, Cagney grew up in a rough neighborhood where poverty and hardship were a constant part of daily life. His father, James Sr., worked as a bartender and also had a background as a boxer, while his mother, Carolyn, a talented singer, tried to provide a more stable environment for her children despite their meager means. The Cagney family was one of 8, and James was the second of 7 siblings, though tragically, 2 of them died in infancy, adding to the family's burdens. From a young age, Cagney's health was frail. He suffered from numerous illnesses, leading his mother to worry that he wouldn't survive into adulthood. Yet, he defied the odds, proving to be a survivor and displaying a keen mind even in his early years. Despite the adversity he faced, Cagney was known for his determination and ambition. As a teenager, he briefly attended Columbia College, studying art and German, but the untimely death of his father in 1918 from the Spanish flu forced him to drop out and return home. In the wake of his father's passing, Cagney took on various menial jobs, including as a bellhop and doorman, to help support his mother and siblings. Although Cagney's early career prospects were limited, he never gave up on his dream of becoming an artist. During his time working at the New York Public Library, he met Florence James, a theatrical professional who encouraged him to pursue acting. Initially hesitant, Cagney soon found himself caught up in the world of theater, taking small roles in various productions. He quickly realized that he had a natural talent for performance, with a photographic memory and an instinctive knack for connecting with his audience. His early work in theater was enough to get him noticed, and by 1919, Cagney had moved to California with his wife, Frances Vernon, to pursue a career in Hollywood. However, his transition to the film industry was far from immediate success. Despite his early enthusiasm, Cagney struggled to make a name for himself in Hollywood. The couple eventually returned to New York, where Cagney took on a part in the play Penny Arcade, which drew the attention of Broadway star Al Jolson. Jolson recognized Cagney's potential and helped him land a role in his first film, Sinner's Holiday, 1930. This marked the beginning of his long and successful career in cinema. At Warner Brothers, Cagney's tough guy persona quickly gained traction, making him one of the studio's top stars. His breakthrough came with the 1931 film The Public Enemy, where he played a ruthless gangster. One of the film's most memorable scenes, in which Cagney slaps a grapefruit into the face of his on-screen wife, became a defining moment in cinematic history. The role cemented his status as a leading man in gangster films, and he would go on to become the face of this genre, starring in a string of similar roles throughout the 1930s. His portrayal of morally ambiguous characters, filled with energy and intensity, captivated audiences. Despite his success, Cagney had his share of frustrations with Hollywood. As the motion picture industry came under increasing scrutiny during the early 1930s, filmmakers had to comply with the Hays Code, which imposed moral restrictions on film content. This shift led Cagney to take on more comedic roles, which were generally well received, but left him feeling unsatisfied. He was also frustrated with his salary and lack of control over his career. Determined to make changes, Cagney fought a legal battle with Warner Brothers, eventually securing a better contract with more creative freedom and a substantial increase in pay. By the late 1930s, Cagney's star power was firmly established. His portrayal of gangster Rocky Sullivan in Angels with Dirty Faces, 1938, solidified his reputation as one of Hollywood's most influential actors. However, it was his iconic role as the exuberant and patriotic George M. Cohan in the 1942 film Yankee Doodle Dandy that earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor, cementing his place as one of the top stars of his generation. As the 1940s gave way to the 1950s, Cagney began to seek more diverse roles that would challenge him artistically. His passion for the arts extended beyond acting, and he also pursued a love for dance and music. However, as his career flourished, Cagney's health began to deteriorate. Suffering from a series of health issues, including a minor stroke in the early 1960s, Cagney retreated from acting and focused on his personal life. He and his wife, Frances, spent more time on their farm in the countryside. After years of relative obscurity, Cagney made a remarkable return to acting in 1981 with the film Ragtime. His performance was met with a standing ovation at the London premiere, where the British public greeted him warmly, and even the Queen Mother was said to have been an admirer of his work. Though Cagney's career had many high points, his personal life was marked by complexities that were largely hidden from the public. Cagney had no biological children of his own, as he and Frances had adopted 2 children due to infertility. As time passed, their relationship with their children became strained, and they were reportedly not close to their adopted children. When Cagney passed away from a heart attack on March 30th, 1986, at the age of 86, his funeral was attended by a slew of notable figures from the worlds of Hollywood and politics, including President Ronald Reagan, who delivered a heartfelt eulogy. However, it was revealed in the aftermath of his death that Cagney's relationship with his children had been distant for many years. In his will, he left his entire estate to his wife, Frances, with whom he had shared a life for over 6 decades. The children were not present at his funeral, a stark reminder of the complicated and often hidden dynamics of his family life. James Cagney's legacy is one of lasting impact on the American film industry. He was a pioneer in the portrayal of complex, multi-dimensional characters who reflected both the harshness and the humanity of life in early 20th century America. His roles ranged from the tough, streetwise gangsters that defined his career to more heroic characters that displayed his range as an actor. Cagney was also one of the earliest stars to challenge the studio system, advocating for better contracts and more creative freedom, ultimately paving the way for other actors to assert their rights within the industry. His name is forever linked to the golden era of Hollywood. While the public admired the tough guy image he projected on screen, James Cagney's true story was one of resilience, passion, and a man's struggle to maintain control over his life and career in the face of immense challenges. His legacy endures not only in the cinematic moments that made him a star, but in the lessons he imparted through his perseverance and his constant drive for artistic expression. He left behind a rich body of work that continues to inspire actors and filmmakers around the world, and his journey from the streets of New York to Hollywood stardom remains a testament to the power of ambition, talent, and determination.